Rumblings are afoot that there could be a seven-storey mega mosque complex coming to Dublin, maybe to a street near you if you're a Dubliner in the not too distant future. This is off of the back of the Clonskeagh Mosque still being closed and many mosques operating illegally in Dublin. And whether or not there's planning permission or not, they seem to crack on regardless. So let's have a look at this proposal first of all, and then we'll get into why people are objecting possibly to a structure like this going up on their own doorstep. So share this content, by the way, if you find it useful, beneficial, you feel people should hear about what's going on here. Cut and paste the links, drop them into your Facebook groups, your WhatsApp groups, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. So this is a 7-storey mosque and apartment complex that is planned for Dublin 8. Dublin City Council is to give its decision on planning permission imminently. The project is entitled Al-Bari Mosque and Apartments. So it's going to be a little self-contained, I don't know, complex here. It's being tendered out to Barrett, Mahony, civil and structural consulting engineers. The proposed development is on the site of a former warehouse operated by Independent Clothing Holdings and will involve the demolition of the existing 2-storey structure to make way for a possible 7-storey structure. That is huge by all stretches of the imagination. So the company is owned by Azhar Bari, who is from Pakistan, and he was advised on the project by the Clonskeagh Islamic Centre, which is currently closed. So the advisors for this proposed 7-storey mosque and apartment complex, the advisors are from the current Islamic Centre that is closed under various financial and extremist accusations. It still has chains on the gates, so that's interesting, but they're acting as advisors for this next mosque that could be coming to Dublin 8. So the proposed development will replace a 2-storey structure, which is quite a change. 2 stories to 7 stories is quite a change. The existing structure is currently on the site of a proposed development noted as being presently disused, but parts of which have acted as a mosque, quote unquote, food processing and residential in the recent past. Food processing and a mosque. So even though it's disused, it's still being used as a mosque. And what's the food processing? Is that Islamic food processing? Are they doing halal slaughter on that site? It doesn't say. It doesn't say. In 2021, there was a planning application rejected in regard to the same project after Dublin City Council gave permission for the building containing 27 apartments at Blackpitts in Dublin 8. The proposal has been objected to by the management of the Presentation Primary School and a local resident. And as you'll see, one of the problems is that this thing is going to be overlooking possibly playing fields for girls' school. So a lot of opposition. There have been previous objections and refusals of planning. So reasoning being, at the time of the original application, an objection was made. The ground cited where the height of the proposed building is 7 stories is a big jump up from 2. In contravention, it was claimed of the city development plan that the upper stories would be overlooking a girls' schoolyard. What do you think of that? That a mosque would be built within the footprint of the height and existing building, and a previous proposal for another residential block had been rejected. Child safety criteria and the likelihood that it will lead to further development detrimental to a settled and historic local community. In other words, it's gonna wreck the community. So it was objected to. At the time of the refusal, Paul Hyde reported that the decision did not directly address any of the original concerns and said the proposal must comply with a series of conditions of parking, noise, and others outlined in the document. The decision finds the proposal is in accordance with national and local planning guidelines, therefore will be in accordance with the proper planning and sustainable development of the area. Well, that's one of the concerns the residents have, that this will continue to spread. And it will bring a huge influx of traffic and people into the area. That will cause a lot of disruption. And just for reference, just as recently as last month, this is the infamous Clonskeagh Islamic Cultural Centre, which has been closed down since April, shut down completely. A local imam refused a court order to be restored to aspects of his previous role. Imam Sheikh Hussein Halawa, who has, among others, been locked out of the Islamic Cultural Centre in Clonskeagh, Dublin since April, has been refused an order requiring the Islamic Cultural Foundation of Ireland to restore him to those aspects of his position and duties that do not require the chained up mosque to be reopened. And this is the place that's advising on the new place potentially opening up. So within Dublin itself, let me give you an idea. This is an article that was published this time last year, just a snapshot article. At the time, within one area of Dublin, or two areas of Dublin, to show that eight alleged mosques activity was to be investigated. So South Dublin County Council are to investigate alleged unauthorized activity at 8 mosques or Muslim cultural centres in Lucan and Clondalkin. So 8 within 2 areas. Follows an enforcement file opened in relation to a mosque in Lucan, which is allegedly operating despite planning permission being refused 15 years ago. 15 years, and they're still cracking on at it, allegedly, or were. So you've got to ask yourself a question: what difference does it make if planning is granted for this place or not? Will it go up anyway? I don't know. The applicant in that case at Liffey Road, Lucan, is the Islamic Cultural Centre of Ireland, whose headquarters are in Clonskeagh. Well, that's the place that, this is last October. It itself was then shut down this April 2025. Councillor Linda de Courcy, who was initially contacted by a resident who had difficulty selling her home in Liffey Road due to high volumes of men at prayer times, has since discovered further mosques in the area allegedly operating with no planning permission. Yeah, opens. This is what the residents in Dublin are concerned about. The whole integrity and history of the area culturally is going to be shaken. It's shocking that planning was denied 15 years ago and there was no enforcement. 15 years, no enforcement. But an Irish pensioner who wants to build a log cabin on his own property because he's facing homeless was threatened and taken to court. Didn't wait 15 years, didn't let him sit for 15 years before they hauled him through the courts. In response to Councillor de Courcy, the Dublin County Council confirmed no planning permission applications have been submitted as a mosque or cultural centre at 8 locations in Lucan and Clondalkin. In Lucan, these include the Minhaj Centre, Dublin, the Lucan Islamic Centre of Ireland, the Masjid Mosque, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Ireland, Foster Walk, Ballyowen, and a site called Mosque 7 Castlegate Drive, Adamstown. So there's many. The Lucan Islamic Centre of Ireland is a subsidiary of South Dublin Maktab Limited. You know, layers and layers and layers. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it? They received planning approval from SDCC to build a mosque and community centre 2020. An objection from a community group acknowledged the need to cater for the local Islamic community, but cited concerns about traffic and that, again, the height has to be high. The residents' group submission containing 9 pages of signatures said the site holds services that will bring 250 to 300 into the area every Friday, with cars parked on grass verges, open green spaces, and throughout the estate, causing major disruption and safety concerns. So, will that be taken into consideration with this new site? Proposed 7-storey mosque and apartment buildings in Dublin 8? Or will they just crack on and build and operate it for 15 years anyway? To hell with planning permission and what the Dublin City Council has to say. We're going to crack on anyway. I'm taking advice from the centre that's closed with chains around the gates. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are below. Are you a Dubliner, especially living in Dublin 8? Is this something that could be coming onto your doorstep? If so, are you concerned about it? Or is it much ado about nothing? Of course, leave me your thoughts and comments in the comments section underneath this video. Share the content out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.